I think it's the patriarchy is kind of what I consider to be the apex fallacy. You're looking at a very, very, very small percentage of men who are at the very top and who do probably have a disproportionate amount of power and influence, but you're disregarding like 99% plus of the ordinary man who has absolutely no power. And it's just like you're looking at the very top percentage of men.
Are you defining power based on how much people are suffering?
I mean, power is like financial, influential, like political, mainly.
Because like I feel like when it comes to the whole because I don't think that saying that a patriarchy exists actually, I don't think it actually downplays the pain of regular men. I think that it's evidence that men are suffering. Back to the suicidal rate, I think the patriarchal definition of power is having expressing no feelings, being, suffering by yourself, being independent and doing all of that. But I feel like patriarchy established that. And I don't know if men established that, but that's terrible for men.
Patriarchy established that, which was intended to serve men.
But
yeah, the patriarchy isn't a social construct. You do realize human beings are almost 300,000 years old, and it's we had to survive for all that time, and without technology, without walls and roofs over our heads and electricity and water. It's there's hundreds of thousands of years of history that you're just kind of not accounting for, in why things are the way they are.
Well, I wouldn't.
Adjust for technology. I think it's important to adjust for technology.
Adjust how? How would you say? What would adjusting be to you?
I think it's important to not entirely compare apples to apples with what happened in the past, and adjust with different rationale. Just because we have a lot more advancements right now, where we don't need you're not gonna go out and get me a steak, right? I mean from a.
I see what you're saying, times are changing and things have advanced, but it's I don't believe that humans' biology will change just because a smartphone was invented and we have internet now. Our core instincts are still based on hundreds of thousands of years of evolution.
Yeah, where people protect each other. You were saying something?
I was gonna say that I think the patriarchy has it's not a social construct, but it has very social consequences. And that's what I was mainly talking about.
The thing is that I'm still trying to really, because everyone has a different sense of what the patriarchy is. It's sort of this nebulous term. So, what is it? What is the patriarchy?
I think it's a type of philosophy.
But what is that?
The philosophy that men are deserving of more power, so therefore men should be granted more power.
Which men? Because very few men have power.
So the people who made patriarchy is that 0.00001% of men who are exceeding. And I would agree that the patriarchy also fucks over the regular men. And when women say that a patriarchy exists, we are not trying to dismiss the pain of the regular man.
But so isn't it more a class thing than it is a gender thing? It's the people in power and
well, I mean,
the elites.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of depends on what kind of philosophy that you subscribe to. Your line of thinking is actually somewhat similar to what it would be similar to Marxism, because Marxism would say that, when it comes to, suffering, it's class struggle. And things like gender or whatever is part of the secondary structure, so it's not direct.
Well, I would say this when it comes to class. I would say that a poor man and a poor woman have far more in common than does a rich man and a rich. Sorry, I just butchered this. Hold on, I fucked it up.
It's okay. I didn't completely hear that. You can totally repeat it.
That's very socialist of you.
No, well, I often hear it said
working class hero.
No, I often hear it said that a poor black man and a poor white man have far more in common than does a rich white. Oh my God, I've already butchered it. Than does a poor black man and a rich black man.
see what you're saying.
Marxist Brian?
Yeah, so it's like if y'all both got money, then race doesn't matter all of a sudden, basically.
That's a pretty
Yeah.
Marxist take, actually, because, you know, things like race, religion, spirituality, like, when it comes to Marx, he's like, no, that's not the source of struggle. It's money. Hence, big capitalism.
Eric, can you pull up the USSR national anthem?
What?
We got.
Oh no.
Why not the
Yeah.
Communist Manifesto?
No,
It's a really
no,
short read.
Brian's
communism.
a class
But-
solidarity, y'all. I miss 40 hours.
What the fuck?
I'd
But,
rather have a little like unfairness than like just like everyone getting the same, which never turns out that way. Yeah.
But like when it comes to patriarchy, right? I guess the point I'm trying to make is that it's not like, yes, maybe it is men who do occupy some of these higher positions of power, politics, corporations. I mean, there's a few reasons why that could be beyond theorized sexism. But for example, I don't know if you guys have heard there's this greater male variability theory, which states that men and women on average are equivalent in terms of intelligence. However, when you look at the what's it called, the
Bell curve. Or
sort of a
or
bell
the
curve thing.
extremes,
If you
yeah.
look at the extremes, you have more men with genius IQs than you do have women, but you also have a ton of you have much more stupid men than you have stupid women. So on both sides, you have men who are just like insanely high IQs. There's more of them than there are women, and there's also much more men with